We are back on the First and Goal podcast. How are you doing today, Jacob?
Probably better than you.
Yeah, it's to be expected every single playoff season.
I mean, I've never seen you so angry after a loss.
You didn't see me after the Seahawks Packers loss in 2014
Yeah, that makes sense.
or 2015, I think technically.
Yeah. Yeah, fun weekend though. I mean, way better games than the wild card weekend, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, we can go game by game in order of when they were played. I think that'll kind of go from the least eventful to the most eventful. Starting off with the Bengals beating the Titans 19-16. What takeaways do you have from both teams in this game?
I think it's just the quarterback play, where I think the Titans had the better roster all around them, but the Bengals had the far superior quarterback in the game.
Yeah, Tannehill looked terrible. As far as I'm concerned, the Titans can't win a Super Bowl under Tannehill. He did not look good. They are the team to watch, probably, to maybe make a trade for a quarterback, maybe one that also lost a divisional round game. I think they have the assets to give up. But the Titans, that was a terrible performance. Those interceptions were brutal. As for the Bengals, they couldn't protect Burrow whatsoever. And for Burrow to still win them the game, granted it was low scoring, and I think that was kind of to be expected with the Titans. I don't know. I think it speaks a lot about the Bengals, because we kind of said if it was going to be a low scoring game, that's advantage Titans. But I don't know. Chase and Burrow are going to carry this team for a long, long time.
Yeah, I mean, T. Higgins looked good with them too. And Tyler Boyd and CJ Uzama are also solid weapons for him. I just think the Bengals in the offseason, their defense looks pretty good up front.
Agreed.
With Sam Hubbard, I think has kind of come on this year as not an elite pass rusher, but someone who can get the job done on a night-to-night or a game-to-game basis. And when you need him to have a decent game, he can step up and put pressure on the quarterback all game.
Yeah, they should be excited still. I mean, I've been saying that for weeks now, but there's a real chance that they could beat Kansas City again this upcoming week.
Yeah. And I think this offseason, the Bengals just need to focus on getting some O-line help. It doesn't help that your second round pick, the 48th overall pick, I don't think is played at all for you this season, and Jackson Carman. I don't think it's due to injury. I think it's just due to play.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't follow the Bengals too closely, but I don't know. I think they'll obviously have a late round pick now, but it's almost like, do you think they could trade up in the draft somehow with all the young talent they have? They could maybe see themselves moving up to get a good tackle maybe in this draft, depending on how the cards fall.
Yeah, because I think ideally for the future, you move Jonah Williams in from left tackle to left guard and play him there, where I think he's a better player as that guard, and then can get a solid to or a good to elite tackle playing left and right guard or left and right tackles. And I think if they can just protect Burrow a lot more, or at least a little bit more this season, they might be the favorites for the 1 seed next year.
Yeah, they're going to be top 4, I think, for a very long time, especially in that division. I don't really see anyone competing with them, especially if they start.
I think 2 teams in that division have questions at quarterback that they need to answer this offseason.
Definitely. And I mean, Lamar is not, he's kind of getting exposed.
I mean, if you listen to our podcast at all, me and Jacob aren't fans of Lamar. We think he's a solid to very good regular season quarterback, but I think once you get to the postseason and you can just game plan around him, where colder weather, it's harder to throw the football, a lot harder to throw the football. I think you stack the box against him and make him beat you, which he has weapons around him. He has some of the best weapons in football, and Mark Andrews, or I shouldn't say best weapons in football yet. He has very good talent, young talented weapons, and Mark Andrews, Marquise Brown, Rashawn Bateman. I think they had Sammy Watkins this past year.
Yeah, I mean, I think that the Bengals are going to run this division for now a while, especially while Burrow's on that rookie contract for another 2 years. They're going to have money to spend 3 years. So, I mean, they'll have
Because
money
they
to
have that
spend
fifth year option.
really lock down some of these issues that they've been having all season. So,
Yeah.
Season's not over for them. They can still make a run. They could be Super Bowl winner. I could honestly see any of these 4 teams now at this point.
This team kind of reminds me of that Packers team a little bit, that 2010-2011 team, where they just got hot at the end of the year. Their quarterback's playing unbelievable, and the defense is just making enough plays to keep them in the game.
I'm excited to see this next week because obviously this is a rematch between them and the Chiefs, which the Bengals upset the Chiefs in the regular season, and at Arrowhead. So nothing's really changing. It's just a second round of this.
Oh yeah, was it Cincinnati the first time? Now it'll be at Arrowhead.
Was it at Cincinnati?
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was at Arrowhead. I mean, that's still advantage Chiefs. But moving into game number 2, 49ers beat the Packers 13-10. Biggest upset of the weekend by far.
Yeah, I was telling you before the podcast, I think the Packers outplayed them, or at least should have won the game, except for the last 5 minutes, where coming into it as a Packers fan, this is the just poetic way for a Packer season to end, is special teams failing them again.
This has been now all over the internet today, especially. This was Aaron Rodgers' press conference 2 years ago when they lost in San Fran.
Type of game they're playing here. I've said this before, we got to get one of these at home. It's a different ball game. It's different, playing in 20-degree weather and snow, cold and wind is different type of game than playing here.
0-4 in his career now against San Francisco in the playoffs.
He's the only quarterback ever to lose to a team 4 times in the postseason.
It's the worst record against one single opponent in the postseason history. I forget if it's 10 or 20 years. I think it's 10. In the last 10 years, there's been more games lost at Lambeau than any other stadium in the league, home games. So is he the ultimate choke artist at this point?
I mean, if you look at it though, throughout his career, except for this one, his playoff losses, I think the defense has all given up over 30 points, which most of those have been close games where, last year against Tampa Bay, you turn Brady over 3 times, you need to win that game.
I mean, you can't blame all the losses through the years on Brady or on Rodgers, just because we saw the Seahawks game that we talked about. There's been some bad moments in his career.
Like that Atlanta Falcons loss.
Yeah, there's been a lot that it's not fully under his control. The funniest stat that I've been seeing all day today really was Rex Grossman and Aaron Rodgers have the same amount of NFC conference championship wins, which not great.
I mean, if you are interested, I am sometime this week, I am writing an article about the why the Packers need to move on from Rodgers and start the Jordan Love era.
That was my first thought. As soon as Robbie Gould hit it, I said the Jordan Love era begins now.
It's
$44 million over the cap at the current moment.
Yep, and somebody has a $46 million cap hit that if they can move him, that essentially gets them under the cap.
Even with a trade, they'd have to keep 20 million of it.
Okay, so I mean,
halfway.
You still need to So he'd probably still release Cobb.
And probably Zadarius Smith.
Yeah, because Preston and Gary looked good this year.
But that's still just getting you to the point, and then you're still talking about having then to sign about 15 guys.
Yeah. I think this was a year where they went all in and it failed. No one can I mean, you can complain about the Packers not drafting a wide receiver, but Eric Stokes for a rookie cornerback, I don't think many rookie corners could have played better than him this season.
No, and I mean the defense didn't lose you this game either.
Yeah.
So it's a tough loss for the people of Wisconsin. What did you think of the Robbie Gould and Jimmy G post game celebration?
I mean,
it
is what it is. I mean,
one's a former Bears fan Bears fan growing up, Jimmy G growing up just up the street, and then Robbie Gould, Bear for life.
I mean, after Robbie Gould hit that field goal, I turned it off and started watching 270 exclusively.
Robbie Gould, 20 for 20 in postseason history now.
I thought it was 15 for 15.
No, he was 19 of 19 going into that kick.
Oh, thought he was 14 of 14.
Nope. So very impressive. I don't think there's anyone that's done that. And then the entire time, I think everyone was saying like, oh, like it's okay because of the weather. Like the weather is gonna keep them from being able to do anything. Doesn't really apply when it's Robbie Gould. I mean, he's played in this weather for many, many years.
I mean, they all said they probably get him within the, if it's a 50-yard kick, I think it's a lot more difficult.
Was it 47?
I think it was.
I think it was around.
They got it within the third. They got it within the 30. I think they got it to around the 24, or I think they got it to around like the 26, 27-yard line.
45-yarder.
45, yeah.
And I mean, that thing was good from at least 50. So
yeah.
Packers special teams, another disappointment.
Yeah, I don't know how you have a blocked kick and a blocked punt in the same game. If those two don't happen, even how poorly the offense plays. The 49ers scored 6. Yeah, the 49ers scored 6 total points on offense.
Yep. Well, technically 7, the extra points on offense.
I guess.
But I know what you're saying. Robbie Gould, team MVP on special teams, and well, maybe not even special teams.
Jordan Willis is team MVP.
What'd you say?
Jordan Willis is team MVP.
I mean, it's crazy how that game went.
Yeah.
But 2 low scoring games. Then you go into Sunday and you have the 2 best games of the weekend. Rams 30, Bucks 27. Tom Brady was so close to having another 27-3 comeback.
It was 28-3 last time.
Well, I mean, it's still.
Yeah.
4 possession game.
Yeah, it's from what I heard from the game, it was pretty much Rams get out ahead. They start turning the ball over. Brady comes back, and then the vaunted Tampa Bay defense blows a coverage to lose in the game.
The Rams did everything in their power to lose that game up until the last part. And the crazy part is none of it had anything to do with Matt Stafford. Matt Stafford played unbelievable. Cam Akers struggled after we just praised him the week before. He almost cost him the game. I truly believe this game if they don't blow the coverage on Cup and give up that huge completion, the Bucs probably win that game in overtime. All the momentum was going with them.
And then another team that's going to have questions this offseason is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Yeah, I mean, Brady
going to retire?
Brady's in trouble. I don't know what he's going to be able to do.
I think Godwin is still they signed him to the franchise tag, so he's a free agent this offseason.
Mm-hmm.
I think who else? Gronk is probably a free agent or
Yeah, but
getting up there.
I
But
guarantee he'll come back for whatever,
yeah,
as long as Tom comes back, which I think he's going to.
I don't know. Getting out of bed after that game, I mean, probably motivates you a little bit, but 45 years old.
I think he's got one more year.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, before we talk more about the game, did you see Antonio Brown's Twitter post?
About Lamar or that one. Yeah. Does he make a difference in that game?
He would have won. I mean, I think they won the game. I mean, they wouldn't have started off so poorly. So, I mean, it showed Antonio Brown would have made the difference in that game, I think. They just had no weapons whatsoever. Then Tyler Johnson got hurt. Scotty Miller was banged up. Mike Evans played like Mike Evans, which was good. They knew to double cover Gronk pretty much the entire game. So Brady was frustrated, and you're obviously not going to take too much of a threat in Brady's legs, so you're able to drop back.
Yeah.
I don't know. They needed another weapon. Antonio Brown would have been real nice.
So Godwin, or it also probably didn't help that Godwin, I think, tore his ACL right after it.
Well, Godwin's been out for a while. He was out before that.
Oh, he was?
Yeah, I think he was out like weeks before that, actually. But no, it would have really helped them to have AB, but good for Stafford. As a Packer fan, I was wondering this. If the Rams go and win a Super Bowl, what does that say that Stafford and Rodgers? Like, realistically, the numbers are going to be very similar at the end of their careers.
Yeah, I mean, I think the Rams have the more talented team at this point over the Packers. I still think Rodgers is the superior quarterback, just talent-wise throughout their careers. I mean, Rodgers might be he choked this game away. But I'll give it to Stafford. I've never hated him as a player.
No.
I just never thought of him. I mean, as a Packers fan, as being with the Lions, I never thought of him as a threat.
I mean, I think it proves that Stafford just never had a team around him to win.
Oh, yeah.
The Lions set him up for nothing.
And I think coming into the season, they gave up 2 firsts for him.
Yep. And Jared Goff, and I think a couple more picks.
I think maybe a third or something like that with it.
Yeah.
But winning a Super Bowl makes it all worth it.
Now, Stafford's a little bit younger than Rodgers, I believe, right?
Yeah, Rodgers was drafted in 05. I think Stafford was drafted in
07.
I want to say 08 or 09.
Makes you wonder, should the Packers have traded away Aaron Rodgers when he was asking for it?
I mean, they'll probably trade him this offseason and get 2 first-round picks for him.
On only 1 year of a contract, though. I thought it was 1.
Pretty sure it's 2.
That could be a big issue. I mean, they're obviously not going to get as much as they would have this last year.
I don't know. Coming off an MVP season, a team like Denver, who is a quarterback away, might see what the Rams did this season and be willing to give it up.
The other thing for the Broncos, though, is they have to look at that division. And I mean, I know you need a quarterback to compete with Mahomes, but they got rid of Von Miller earlier on this year. The defense wasn't as great as they hoped. Do they think that Aaron Rodgers solves all their issues? I'm not sure.
Well, did you see who's a finalist for one of the 3 finalists for their head coach?
Is it Nathaniel Hackett?
Yep.
I mean, I think his head coaching chances got a little bit slimmer after that game.
Yeah.
because I mean everyone has that fresh in their head that this team only scored 10 points in the most important game probably of the last 5 years. Because this is the first year that everyone knew the Packers could really win it.
Yeah.
They were the healthiest team.
But yeah. And then game 4 of the weekend, the Kansas City Chiefs beat the Buffalo Bills in overtime.
The saddest game, 42-36. Josh Allen played unbelievable. Mahomes played great. Mahomes and Allen are 2 top 3 quarterbacks in the NFL.
Yeah.
No question.
Highlight of the game, though, was Stephon Diggs tackling that fan.
I mean, that was his only highlight of the game. Well, that and the 2-point conversion catch, but I mean, he did not show up. Gabriel Davis did. I believe his stat line was something like 8 receptions, 204 yards, and 4 touchdowns.
Sounds about right.
I mean, Josh Allen, though, like, I don't know how much more you could say. Brian Dabble, his head coaching chances just went way up. He probably earned himself a couple extra $1 million from either the Giants or the Bears, because that's who it seems are the 2 finalists. So I don't know what's going to happen. Brian Dabble's going to get hired. I think Leslie Frazier lost out on his chance now.
I mean,
I think he was already at the low end of becoming a head coach out of the possible options. And I just don't think 42 points in a playoff game is going to rub off too well this season. Obviously, they're going to be better next season when they get Tre'Davious White back. And
I mean, Tre'Davious White in that game, I think, makes a massive difference.
huge, because you would have had someone on Tyreek Hill.
Oh yeah, you could have Tre'Davious White on Tyreek, maybe a little bit of safety help over there, but you can double Kelsey then.
Yeah. So I mean, Tre'Davious White's the difference maker, sadly, for the Bills fans.
I mean, the other thing that I would, how about that non-taunting call on Tyreek Hill on the touchdown?
Yes. So I'm trying to think of how that ruling would have came out. I think it would have only been on the kick. I don't think that taunting ends up affecting the play. I think it would have affected the next play.
No, I think it affects the play. Because I think the Packers have had that called on them before.
Actually, speaking of weird calls, so I guess you didn't see it. In the Bucs game, there was a throw down the field to Mike Evans. It got thrown into double coverage, but whatever. The ball just falls to the ground, and within like half a second, there's head-to-head contact from the safety help into Mike Evans, which then they threw the flag, personal foul, and the 15 yards, because the ball had already hit the ground, gets applied to the next play. So it was only 15 yards backwards in the other direction for the Rams offense. How is that the right call? I mean, like, I get it's head-to-head contact, so it's post-play, but how is that the call that they make? Because, I mean, if it's roughing the passer in an incomplete pass, that's 15 yards.
Was it unnecessary roughness?
It was a personal foul. Targeting, I think. No, it wasn't targeting because they didn't kick him out. It was a personal foul, though. So I'm not sure how that rule got made up. And I mean, they ended up going to who's the Fox?
Pereira.
I think were they on Fox yesterday or were they NBC?
I think they were NBC.
Whoever
I don't know who NBC's is.
Is it Hockley?
Probably.
Whoever the NBC guy said that's the right call. That's what it is in the book. That's a terrible rule. Like, I mean, if that ball was 2 inches off the ground, then it's 15 yards for the offense moving up. But because the ball had just hit the ground, now it's 15 yards just backwards for the defense. Like, I don't like that rule. But yeah, going back into the Bills, I hate that overtime.
I mean, as a Packer fan, That's happened to them enough in the postseason where even they had the ball. I mean, even getting the ball on with a hot offense, they still have to score. And if you follow the Packers, that's kind of an issue for them in the postseason, scoring in overtime. Favre's last game, Rodgers in Arizona.
I just think they need to fix it. I'm okay with it in the regular season, but they need to have a better format for the postseason. I don't know if you go to the college rules, and I know this has been suggested on other websites, definitely the past 2 days, or past day. I don't know if you do the college rule, but instead of starting them on the 25 or 30, whichever they start them on, maybe you start them at 50. And
I like the overtime rule. The defense has to make a stop. That sucks that they can bitch and moan all they want,
but the issue
but
is
players have to play and step up.
I mean, like you look at other sports though, like Major League Baseball, you get your chance. You can give up a run in the top of the 10th inning. You're still going to be able to bat. NHL, it's just more hockey. NBA, it's just more basketball. The NFL is more football.
Not really. Hockey, whoever scores first in overtime wins it.
Yeah, but hockey is back and forth. It's not one possession. We're on offense the entire time.
I mean, if the Bills had I think Josh Allen said if I was in their shoes and it happened for us, I wouldn't have cared. I would have been happy.
Well, yeah, and I agree with that because you should be happy because you won the game. But it seems like we're talking about this every 2 years, that especially in a game where they're trying to promote all these offensive calls and trying to make the game easier for offense, you need to give both teams.
I don't agree with that at all. I think, defense is still part of the game. Bills, if the Bills make a stop, we're not talking about it at all. Their defense just needed to step up. They did not.
I don't agree with it. I think just like baseball, it's not first one to score. I don't know how it came down to a coin flip in a way, because neither offense was going to get stopped. I think either way I'd be saying the same thing. The OT is stupid in the NFL. Because I have no problem with Mahomes winning another Super Bowl. I actually kind of prefer it at this point, but
Gonna get a repeat of 2 years ago.
we could. Jimmy G versus Mahomes. Who thought?
And we know how that one ends.
Yeah, I think this year would be even worse. But
yeah, same. I think
the best game possible now is Rams Chiefs.
My preferred game is Bengals Rams.
Why would that be your preferred game?
I do not like the Chiefs. I don't like what they do with their players. I think Tyreek Hill is a garbage human being.
I don't think that there's a lot of guys in the NFL that probably have their personal issues.
They also don't break a kid's arm.
I'm cheering for the best game, so I'm cheering for Chiefs Rams. I would have been cheering for Bills Rams. Actually, yeah. I would have been cheering Bills Bucks. That would have been probably the best for me.
I don't know. I think getting Joe Burrow in that Super Bowl to where, if it's Mahomes, just imagine though, going into next postseason, if Burrow can beat Mahomes and get a Super Bowl, it's 1-1, and Burrow has the advantage over Mahomes in the playoffs 1-0. You could be setting up the next Brady, Manning with that.
I know. I think the AFC is going to be entertaining for the next 10 years. But also, real quick on that Chiefs game, the NFL needs to do something about the Mahomes family. If they're still not letting Dave Portnoy, president of an actual business, into games, they shouldn't have Jackson Mahomes dancing on the sideline, having security take videos of him and his wife or whatever, a girlfriend, shooting champagne out of the press box or out of the box all over fans after that game.
I think that's more on the Chiefs ownership, or, you know, Patrick going up and actually controlling his family, being like, don't embarrass me.
He's said it multiple times. It's just not happening.
I mean,
He
then,
needs to take the Aaron Rodgers route and just stop talking to everyone.
well, I mean, he really can't stop anything with his wife unless they get a divorce.
And never sees his kid again.
But I mean, you can probably, I think Patrick just needs to go up to his family and be like, you got to stop this shit.
I think he has. I don't think it does anything.
You know, that just shows how shitty of a human being Jackson Mahomes is.
I mean, if the
You can't
NFL
even,
and
you
Goodell,
don't have enough respect for your own brother to actually listen to him and not embarrass him
if
or his
Goodell,
wife.
if Goodell is banning what really at the end of the day is a sports reporter from going to any NFL event, including games, then I think he can ban them from going to games. I mean, the weather wasn't nice. Like, this champagne is now freezing onto people.
Then sewer.
Honestly, it would be the worst idea.
She has
They
her
have the
husband's
money.
making enough money.
Yeah, they definitely have the money. So, all right. Another episode coming out this week. When we do the predictions. I guess if you were to have to power rank them, I know we said we weren't going to, what would it have been? Without going too much into detail.
I think it's going
I guess
so
Chiefs won.
I think just on who I think has the best chance to make the Super Bowl. I think it goes Rams 1, Chiefs 2, Bengals 3, 49ers 4. I think the Rams are my favorites, or have the best chance of making the Super Bowl.
I think I would have just flipped the Chiefs and Rams, but
I just did it more on, I think the Rams have a better chance of making the Super Bowl against the 49ers. I think that they're the far superior team.
But if you're saying win the Super Bowl,
I think the Chiefs have a better chance, but I also think that I kind of like how the Bengals match up against that Chiefs team.
I think the AFC is going to win the Super Bowl this year. Between the two of them.
I mean, I still think it'd be best because, I mean, obviously Mahomes is 2-0 against Allen in the postseason now. Both games have been at Arrowhead.
Mm-hmm.
Both have been close. Yeah.
God, that sucks for Bills Mafia.
They've been having to deal with it for
many years,
3 or 4 decades at this point.
Yeah.
Where I think in the 80s,
no, early 1990s, they lost 4 in a row. I think it was like 90 to 93 or something like that.
Yeah.
Sad. I tweeted it during the game. At the end of his career, Josh Allen will end up becoming the most loved Buffalo athlete of all time.
If he wins him a Super Bowl.
He's going to win the Super Bowl at some point.
I mean, people also thought Rodgers would have more than one.
Wow.
I'm just saying.
Rodgers is a Caleb Haney away from not having one.
They were still winning that game. I think Caleb Haney outplayed Jay Cutler that game.
He did. I mean, like, I looked at that the other day. That was a cakewalk for them to get to the Super Bowl. They played like Mike Vick, who was old.
Mike Vick was in the MVP talks that year.
Still, Mike Vick, any running quarterback in the playoffs is not the same.
He played Atlanta, which
that was young.
That was when Atlanta started to be good.
Yeah,
and they just annihilated them that year.
And then you have
they played the
Cutler,
Bears,
Todd Collins, and Caleb Haney game, and then you go to play the only real threat was Ben Roethlisberger, and
they dominated that game against the Steelers.
Then they went on to go 15-1, lose NFC Championship, I believe.
No, they lost in the divisional to the Giants. The Giants came into Lambeau and absolutely dominated them.
All right, you got anything else you want to say?
Just looking forward to the offseason. Let's see if the Packers can get a couple of picks for Rodgers.
ESPN's reporting that they're going to try everything in their power to bring Rodgers back. So,
I mean, if you're going to trade a guy, are you going to say that, oh, yeah, we're definitely looking into trading this guy? That's just going to lower their value. I mean, I'm sure they're going to look into it, but I just don't think money-wise it's smart. You're going to have to release so many people, and then you have no chance of winning it anyway, so what's the point?
I'm hoping they try to keep him.
Oh, yeah.
I never thought I'd say I want Aaron Rodgers to get a Packers uniform. Either he plays again and they're good again next season, or the best team in the NFC North, but then they set themselves up for terrible cap hits for many years to come, or they have Jordan Love.
Yeah. I mean, this kind of reminds me of the tradition or transition from 2007 to 2008.
We'll see. All right. I'm gonna head out, and we'll see you guys on later this week, probably Friday. So
Yeah,
thanks, guys.
See you later.
Hey guys, as I was uploading, I realized that nowhere in this video did we ever mention that this episode is brought to you by Hotels.com. With Hotels.com, there's plenty of destinations that you guys can go to. They will handle everything with expertise and ease, honestly. So go over to our friends at Hotels.com or click on our link on the winnersonlyclub.com website and click on the Hotels.com logo, and it'll take you straight to our link. Using that link, whether you guys are just going away for a weekend or booking a business trip, you guys will help support us by giving us a percentage of the commission. So we'd like to thank again our friends at Hotels.com. Book your trips through them. We'll be going to Phoenix this weekend and using Hotels.com. Thank you.